Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a student at the University of Pennsylvania, and I know exactly the struggle you guys are going through, and it's rough. Like, it is so hard. But here are the tips that helped me get through the way. I literally applied to like 20 schools, and I got into like a few. Okay, it wasn't like a good, like, yes, I got into some awesome schools. In the end, I ended up at a great school, and I'm so happy for that. But like the process was rough. I applied REA to a school, got full out rejected from that school. Winter break, like this season, I literally rewrote my whole personal essay. I rewrote like all my Common App essays. I was like, and then I applied to like a bunch of schools because at that point I was panicking. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna get into college. Like, what is gonna happen? So I just applied to a bunch, right? And then I was just grinding out like 3 essays like every single day, and my mental health was, we were in the trenches, okay? I know around this time, like all the REAs are coming out and like all the EAs, and you feel like everyone has gotten into their dream school, and some people have. And it's amazing. Some of them are your friends, and you feel great for them. You're like, wow, amazing. But also you're like, eek, I got rejected from my schools. What? Like, you're starting to recontemplate everything. You're like, okay, I'm drowning in schoolwork, I'm drowning in clubs, and I'm also drowning in college apps, and like I don't know how to exert my energy where. I know I should be happy for people. I'm like posting for them like congratulations, and I am happy for them, but also I'm just stressed about my own future, and it's just very conflicting feelings because you'll end up probably like applying to similar schools, at least to your friends. Like, you end up comparing yourself to like, oh, my friend got into here but I didn't. Does that make me a worse person? It messes a lot with your own self-worth. And so what I'd say is just, you need to disconnect who you are to like how college admissions see you. In your college app, you're like, basically, you're telling them like your whole life story, right? Your essays are telling them about like your most important stories that shaped you, and you're also talking about like your activities and like things you spend your most amount of your time with, and just like you're being very vulnerable. And so being rejected and like from a school that's not just like, oh, your test grade wasn't enough. It's like you weren't enough. Like, you yourself did not get into the school. Like, that hurts. That hurts. And I know that can feel really personal, but you have to think of it as like, these college admission officers are literally looking at your application for 8 minutes max. They're reading through it, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, a lot of it is so out of your control. Like, people have such advantages that they're just not sharing with you. Like, whether it's like socioeconomic class, they had like college admissions tutors, just like people to guide them. And so you can't just be thinking, oh, this is like my self-worth versus like them. No, it's all the resources they have, plus the resources you have, but also that's like stuff you just can't control. So you have to realize that like there's so many external factors, whether they're a legacy or not, or whether, how much money they have, that really affect like whether you get into a college. So it's not just you, it's so much more. So you can't take it personally. It just wasn't the school for you. They just didn't see your worth. Okay, so secondly, you need to get off the internet. And I know on Instagram, everyone is posting, yay, I got into this school, la, 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 la. And like, yes, you want to support your friends and be like, yay, congrats. But also you'll be ending up seeing like, oh, this person from this school that's neighboring ours got into my dream school. And then you just start comparing yourself. And like, especially college app season, like you're out of such a vulnerable state. Like, you don't know where your future is gonna lie. And so just like having to compare yourself online, that's the worst. So for me, I personally deleted Instagram from like November to March of senior year because I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. And honestly, it helped because I didn't have to like be updated with every single person who got into college except for me. Like, I don't know. For me, that just stressed me out. I think I was just taking it too personally. But if you're also super stressing out about it, just like delete Instagram. You don't have to delete your account, but just like take it off your phone. If you really want to look on it, look at Safari, okay? But like try to log off that once in a while. I don't know. Maybe it was me avoiding things, but I just really could not. My value does not rely on the type of college I go to. Yeah, there'll be different resources available, and like, yeah, I'll have a different experience, but low-key, like all the colleges are around the same. Like, yeah, there's prestige and whatever, but in the end, like what you're learning, like what you're actually learning, it's like the same. Okay, and if you're hardworking, that's all that matters, because in college, like, no one's gonna guide you, like, use this, use this. No, it's yourself. You're the one who's gonna be able to, like, decide how you spend time. And so, like, who cares if you go to a super good college if all you're doing is just, like, dream schooling, you know, just, like, laying on your bed doing jack nothing. So it just depends on the person themselves. Just trust yourself, okay? Like, you're probably watching this video because you're just, like, anxious and just, you know, you have a lot of big goals, and that's amazing. Going to a college that wasn't exactly your vision isn't gonna stop that from happening. Also, just, like, a good way to view college apps, you know, even though it's so rigged, it's so problematic. There's so many parts of it that just feel so dehumanizing and just make you feel like crap. Just, like, try thinking of it as, like, a way of self-reflection. Like, we're really stretching here. But, like, these essays, I mean, they're not made with, like, malice, you know? Like, these people just really want to know you. So just think, like, reflecting on your life and, like, things you can improve on. Honestly, it's hard because these essays are made for you to be, like, marketable, you know, to make your stories appealing. Like, yes, these are some of my worst, darkest, most vulnerable moments, but I also have to make it into a way that's, you know, appealing for admissions officers, that make them want to be like, oh, this is a great person. This is a great story. They really overcame it, even though it might not be something you overcame. It's hard to be fully authentic, but just think of it as a way of, like, reflecting on your 18 years of life. You know, patting yourself on the back. Because, like, going through this process is so hard, but you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to grow resilient. Even the fact that you can, like, apply to colleges and, like, be stressed in this way, that's such a blessing. Instead of thinking it as a burden, think of it as, like, an opportunity. Like, oh, like, this would be such a cool opportunity. Like, this is exciting. And this is your own journey. Don't compare yourself to other people. You're yourself, you're independent. Just trying to kind of protect your self-worth, your self-value. Like, know that you are enough. It will be okay. And you know what? Let's all take a deep breath. I feel like society just puts too much pressure on, like, the type of college you go to. It's really not that deep. It really isn't. Enjoy senior year as best as you can, and you'll be okay.